Welcome back, my little recusants, to another episode of our Pokemon Yellow episodic Nuzlocke. I did some grinding off screen. We're going to be doing that a lot more in this series, but basically I went to Diglett's cave and trained Ghastly there, where basically an awful lot of the Pokemon attacks couldn't deal damage, and if they ever used Dig, I just switched to Pidgeotto and switched range. But we got him back to level 24 just in time for an evolution, and as I say, Roxas is continuing his journey, going back through the Pokemon Tower, trying to find a way to calm the now angered spirits. And obviously with this beautiful reunion with Butterfree, I suppose he's now getting to grips with the more supernatural elements of Kanto. As I might have said before, the only other ghost-type trainer is Agatha. They tend to be a very selective group, and as we can see from even just the channelers here, what ends up happening is the Ghastlies more so just possess the channelers, and then through the Sylph Scope, Roxas is able to sort of compel them to battle. But with all of that, let's see how far we can make it up this spooky tower and what other surprises lie in store. So with all of that, we're going to roll our title card. Mourning, a Marowak. As I say, some of these battles are kind of just inconsequential with the wild Pokemon, so we are just going to be skipping over them. But as you can see, the Ghastlies are by no means pushovers. Between their Confuse Ray, between their Nightshade, it's all just incredibly tricky to deal with. And like 20 damage for a not very tanky group of Pokemon, with our only kind of tanky one being maybe Victreebel and Gyarados, like it's tricky. But Roxas, on ascending further into the tower, once again comes upon a possessed channeler, and through their mouths the Ghastly shrieks, "Team Rocket must pay! Team Rocket are evil! Team Rocket have disturbed the natural order!" And as this Ghastly is put to rest, the channeler kind of blinks, unsure of what to say. But in that moment, Haunter is enveloped, or Butterfree, the Ghastly, is enveloped in a white light. Haunter, the gas Pokemon. By licking, it saps the victim's life. It causes shaking that won't stop until the victim's demise. On that information from the Pokédex, Roxas now, on reflection, starts to focus. And though he knows in his heart that this Haunter is the spirit of Butterfree, with this evolution, it only proves that while this is the spirit of Butterfree, it is now in a new form. This different Pokemon, this Haunter, is just a completely different and separate being to the Butterfree that came before. And what could Team Rocket have done? Well, Sora had already explained to Roxas previously. Team Rocket seems to have specifically whipped up a storm of attacking and killing Marowak, orphaning many Cubones, and this sacrilegious act has stirred the ghosts of Pokemon Tower into action, possessing the then peaceful channelers, trying to keep the spirits to rest, but their anger and fury cannot be quelled. On sending out Haunter, its speed is nearly unmatched, phasing in and out, moving at a blinding pace. Yet, their connection from their previous incarnations make the fighting with Haunter almost instinctual. With its new evolved form, even the other spectral attacks aren't as phased from Haunter, taking less and less damage. Its defense is now bolstered. Freeing him, the other channelers don't even realize that they were being possessed. They think that they were dreaming. They think that they were just unfocused or don't seem to have any memory of what has happened. For Roxas, as he continues boldly forward, he realizes that what they have done is disturbing the restless spirits. And on rounding a corner, Roxas sees a sigil of magical energy emitting a white light, and stepping into it, all of his Pokémon are healed. This miraculous miracle, obviously the work of this white mage, this one channeler whose stoic conviction allows him to hold this vigil for a savior to come and free the tower from its grief. Roxas speaks to this white mage as other channelers, other Ghastlies appear from his possessed brethren. The channeler says, "It's really quite simple. Team Rocket massacred these Pokemon, disturbed the peace of the dead. They're all furious, but they keep saying a message that I just can't understand. They keep saying that Team Rocket has brought an abomination to life. But I can't see that in their actions here. All they've brought to life are the spirits of the Pokemon, but ghost types aren't any more or less natural than a normal or water type. It's all just the natural progression of life, but the ghosts just seem to continuously say that they are angered by what Team Rocket has done. They have caused an abomination." As Roxas listens to his words, staying safe within the white circle of healing and allowing his Pokemon to beat back the ghosts and release these other channelers from their possessions, the channelers speak through their hosts, the Ghastlies and Haunters, articulate their fury. "You, too, are part of this. Their harm, their evil, their corruption, it must be stopped. You must stop it. And if you cannot, then we will end you before their plans reach fruition." Roxas couldn't understand this. He's helped Pokemon, he's thwarted Team Rocket. What could he have any involvement with their plans? As he fights back, his Splitty blasting these ghostly creatures with bubble beams and thrashing around, Roxas frees channeler after channeler, possession after possession revoked. As he walks further through the tower, his Pokemon once again being healed and cared for by the healing magic of this one sane channeler. Roxas quizzes the channelers that challenge him. What could you mean by this? What have Team Rocket created? A horror. A thing that should have never existed. A recreation of a god, but made by mortal hands. It simply only knows rage. Rage to dominate, rage to control, no more than the masters that brewed him. And you too are part of this. Your lineage runs deep to the horrors of the world. But so in the creating, so could you be the key to unmaking. But we must test, for if the tool should break under pressure, it shall not be. And with the defeating of the ghastly, the message ceased. Roxas ruminated on the words. I was a part of some plan. Team Rocket have created something. On finding another channeler, yes. Created a monster. Created a life that should have never been. From something extinct to something artificial. It simply waits to further use mankind's technology to start its domination. If you can prove yourself a master of the supernatural, maybe you can be the key to solving this problem. If not, you should be locked here, trapped within the tower, so as to not be the tool to the world's unmaking. With blast after blast from Haunter, the ghosts encroach Roxas. He sees the mist enswirling the tower, obfuscating his vision more and more. Channeler after channeler, ghost after ghost, seeking to entrap Roxas in this tower. He had only been allowed to travel so far up, so as to make it even harder for him to find his way back. The white light of the sigil of protection from the one white mage channeler, now completely hidden in the miasma of fog and purple gas, surrounded by large blinking eyes as the ghastlies surround and encircle Roxas. His own Butterfree attacking the mist, blasting it with a dark psychic energy. Roxas uses all of his Pokémon at his disposal. Begs for the ghosts to let him free, but they simply repeat, the steel must be tested, the tool must be correct. If it should break under pressure, all shall suffer. Better for one to be wrong now than for the world to be suffering because we did not check. The ghosts confuse Roxas with their words and his Pokémon with their attacks. Licks and Nightshades confuse Rays and Dazzling the entire experience, leaving Peekaboo and Flare to scream as Peekaboo leaps to his defense. Blasts of Nightshade leave Peekaboo almost defenseless. In a moment of panic, he releases Splishy, and with a blast of powerful ghostly energy, Splishy reels back, releasing a jet of bubbles, colliding with the gas, cleansing the air and pushing forward a way for him to advance. Roxas stops panicking. He takes a breath and focuses. This is only a test, no more than any of the gym battles beforehand. These might be different, these might be Pokemon in control of people, but I can surmount this challenge. I will not get lost in the fog. I will move forward and be free. On defeating and freeing this last channeler, he says that he feels weak and cold from the possession. But finally, one last Ghastly rounds the corner. With Flare now fully healed and his other Pokemon replenished with the medicines he bought from the Celadon department store, Roxas just releases Splishy straight away. No time to let these ghosts confuse and paralyze and cause difficulty for him and his Pokemon. With one clarity directed Bubble Beam, the Ghastly is nearly completely dispersed. And with its clarity and freedom from confusion, Roxas takes out the final Ghastly of this level. And on the Ghastly's departing words, it says, "You may go. Progress forward and save us." On reaching the final floor, a final channeler, obviously possessed, asks Roxas a question. How do you soothe a rage-filled heart? The Marowaks of their orphaned children, their tears cry loud into the night. They wish to fight, to avenge their deaths. What do you think is the solution? Roxas thinks quietly. If they are dead and confined to this tower, they need a champion to avenge them. I volunteer to make sure that Team Rocket is stopped, no matter what. The channeler steps aside, allowing Roxas to appear himself before that one final stairway. Be gone, intruders! And a ghostly image appears, but with the clarity of the Silphscope, it reveals it to be an amalgamation of many Marowak ghosts, furious at their Cubones being orphaned. Roxas declares, "I promise you, I will stop Team Rocket. No matter what it takes, I will avenge you." The Marowak leers down, and Roxas says, "Let me show you my strength. I can stop them." And with a blast from Splishy, the Marowak braces and fades, acknowledging his strength.